cop tries to humiliate a black man. But that day, he didn't know who he was dealing with. It started like every other street incident. Flashing lights, raised voices, and a man forced to his knees for no reason other than the color of his skin. But what the cop didn't know was that the man he mocked wasn't just anyone. Behind that calm smile, behind those haunting eyes, lived someone far more dangerous. Someone who doesn't forgive injustice. Someone who turns humiliation into poetic revenge. That day, the Joker wasn't wearing makeup. He was wearing pain. And pain, when pushed too far, becomes a weapon sharper than any knife. Subscribe now if you believe that sometimes the villain is the only one brave enough to expose the real monsters hiding in plain sight. Because tonight, Joker delivers pure karma. The siren lights painted the wet asphalt in shades of blue and red. The night smelled of rain, smoke, and something heavier, humiliation. On the corner of 5th and Reborn, a black man stood with his hands raised, his face calm, yet unreadable. His name, no one knew yet, was Arthur, but long before he called himself Joker. Officer Hale, a broad-shouldered man with a crooked grin, towered over him. "You think you can walk around this neighborhood dressed like that?" he sneered, shoving Arthur against the patrol car. Arthur's tie was slightly loosened, his shirt wrinkled, his eyes unblinking. "I didn't do anything wrong," Arthur replied quietly. His voice wasn't angry. It was restrained, controlled, like a man counting the seconds before a storm. Hale laughed. "Wrong? You think just because you've got that educated tone you're better than me? You people always—" He stopped himself and smiled, as if enjoying the taste of his own cruelty. He pulled out his phone, recording the moment. "Let's show the internet what happens when a clown tries to play businessman." Arthur didn't flinch. He looked straight into the camera lens and said softly, "You'll regret pressing record." The other officer snickered. "Big words." But Arthur wasn't joking. They made him kneel on the wet pavement, their laughter echoing through the empty street. The rain began to fall harder, and under that rain, a smile slowly formed on Arthur's lips, not from amusement, but from realization. He'd seen this scene before. The powerless man, the loud authority, the illusion of control. He used to laugh at it on stage. Now life was laughing back. Hours later, after being released without charge, no apology, no explanation, Arthur walked home through the slums, soaked to the bone. The city lights blurred through the raindrops like smeared paint. He entered a small apartment filled with silence. Broken mirrors hung like scars on the walls. On one, someone had written in red lipstick, "Smile when they hate you." Arthur stared at it. Then, in the reflection, he saw his old self, the comedian who believed the world could be fixed with laughter. That man was dead. Tonight, something else breathed inside him. He opened a small metal box hidden beneath the floorboard. Inside it, old photographs, a purple coat, and a cracked deck of cards. The cards were worn, but the Joker card was still pristine. He held it between his fingers. "You shouldn't have done that, officer," he whispered. "You should have known better than to humiliate a man who's already got nothing to lose." The next morning, news channels showed the viral clip of the arrest. The video had spread across social media, captioned, "Arrogant man tries to lecture cop." The world laughed. Comment sections filled with cruelty. Nobody cared about truth, just entertainment. But one comment stood out. Anonymous, simple, it read, "Justice will laugh last." That night, Officer Hale returned to his patrol shift. He was confident, proud, almost glowing from the attention online. He and his partner cruised down the same street, joking about the video views. Then the radio crackled. "Unit 12, report to an incident near 5th. A disturbance, possible vandalism." They arrived to find a billboard defaced in red paint. Words sprawled across it. It read, "Who laughs last, Officer Hale?" The partner frowned. "Looks like some punk's idea of a joke." But Hale froze. His name, In red, the same handwriting from the lipstick mirror. The partner went to radio it in, but the signal cut out, static hissing like laughter through the speaker. Then, from the shadows of the alley, a voice echoed softly. "You liked recording people, right?" Smile for me now. The flashlight beam caught a shape. Someone wearing a hood, face hidden, standing impossibly still. "Freeze!" Hale barked, gun drawn. But the figure didn't move. Instead, a single playing card fluttered down from the dark. A joker card. Hale fired. The bullet hit nothing. The figure had vanished into the night, leaving only laughter, a low, calm, human laugh, fading into the distance. Back in his patrol car, Hale's hands shook. That wasn't him. "It can't be," he muttered. But deep down, he knew that voice, that calm, that control. That was the same man he'd humiliated. When Hale got home, he found a package on his doorstep. No return address. Inside was a mirror, cracked in the center, with a note stuck to it. "Now you know how it feels to be broken and watched." The mirror reflected his own trembling face, distorted, twisted. And behind his reflection, for just a second, he thought he saw someone standing, smiling, watching. Then, darkness. The lights went out, and from the shadows, a faint whisper, "Let's start the show." The city didn't sleep that week. News outlets replayed the clip of Officer Hale's nervous breakdown, caught on his neighbor's security camera. A man once feared for his arrogance now stood in the middle of the street, screaming at the shadows, swearing he saw a clown following him. The department dismissed it as stress-induced paranoia, but the look in Hale's eyes said otherwise. He stopped showing up to work. His house, once spotless, was now filled with boarded windows and half-eaten takeout boxes. Every night, he'd wake up to faint laughter echoing through his house, sometimes from the TV, sometimes from nowhere at all. Then came the second package, a small brown envelope slid under his door. Inside, just a photograph. A picture of Hale holding Arthur against the patrol car. Same night, same rain. Except Arthur's face in the photo wasn't blank anymore. Someone had drawn a red smile across it, perfectly curved, mockingly alive. On the back, one sentence. "Smile for the truth." He dropped the photo and stumbled back, heart pounding. That's when he noticed it. His TV flickered to life on its own. The viral video began playing, but this time it was edited. Every few seconds a new frame appeared, short flashes of other faces. Politicians, businessmen, judges, all caught in moments of corruption, handshakes, bribes, secrets in the dark. Hale's voice shook. "What the hell is this?" And then on the screen, Arthur's face appeared, calm, centered. "I told you," he said in that same quiet tone. "You'd regret pressing record." The video glitched and cut to static. Then a whisper came through the speaker. "The city doesn't need a hero. It needs a reminder." Across town, deep in an abandoned theater, Arthur sat on the stage. The same stage where he once performed stand-up comedy to an audience that never laughed. Now, the seats were filled with mannequins wearing police caps, suits, and plastic smiles. A projector whirred behind him, playing footage of real corruption, leaked videos, hidden body cams, things never meant to be seen. Arthur watched in silence. He wasn't the Joker with paint. He was something worse, honest. He'd spent days gathering evidence, breaking into systems with surgical precision. Every clip he'd found told the same story. Power humiliating the powerless, justice used as a joke. He didn't need chaos. The world was already chaos. He was just revealing it. That night, a new video appeared online. Anonymous upload. No title, no tags, just one frame. A Joker card. The video began with a clip of Hale's arrest, but this time the camera panned out showing the other cops laughing. Then the footage cut, scene after scene of corruption across the city. Judges rigging cases, cops planting evidence, reporters selling silence, and a voice spoke over it. "You laugh when the victim cries. You film when the guilty smile. But what happens when laughter comes for you? The city erupted. People took to the streets, angry, divided, terrified. Some called Joker a terrorist. Others called him a savior. In the chaos, Arthur watched from a rooftop, cigarette glowing in the dark. He smiled, but it wasn't joy. It was exhaustion. Look what it takes to wake them up, he muttered. Behind him, a voice spoke. You think you're saving them? Arthur turned. Officer Hale stood there, disheveled, trembling, gun aimed at his chest. You ruined me, Hale spat. You turned me into a joke! Arthur tilted his head, eyes calm. No, officer. You did that yourself. I just gave the world a mirror. Hale's hands shook. You think you can play God? Decide who's good, who's bad. Arthur stepped closer, unafraid. I don't decide. I expose. That's the difference between a clown and a liar. For a moment, silence. Only the wind between the buildings. Then Hale fired. The bullet missed, shattering the neon sign behind Joker. Sparks rained down, painting the alley in red and white. Arthur didn't flinch. Instead, he walked forward, slow, deliberate. You wanted everyone to see you as powerful, he whispered. Now they do. Not as a cop, but as a coward. Hale fell to his knees, the gun slipping from his hands. Tears streaked his face as laughter filled the air. Arthur's laughter, but not manic. It was raw, broken, almost human. Why are you laughing? Hale begged. Because, Arthur said softly, I finally understand. They made me a monster, to make their sins easier to swallow. He placed a Joker card on the ground beside Hale. Now it's your turn to choose. Be honest, or be forgotten. Then he vanished into the night, leaving Hale alone under the flickering light. When morning came, the world woke up to breaking news. Officer Hale found dead in his home. Suicide note references the Joker. But there was one detail that never made it to the news. A Joker card taped to the mirror and scrawled beneath it in red ink. Laughter isn't madness. It's truth refusing to stay silent. The city had turned into a circus, and for once the clowns weren't on stage. Screens flashed with footage, walls were painted with Joker cards, and whispers of justice echoed like a virus through every street corner. Nobody knew who Joker really was, a hero, a madman, or a ghost. But everyone felt his presence. Every corrupt man, every dishonest smile, now feared laughter itself. 3 days after Officer Hale's death, Gotham City's skyline bled red. Protests, riots, speeches, chaos had found its conductor. But Arthur, he watched from afar, sitting on a cracked rooftop with an old radio beside him, listening to the city tear itself apart. They wanted a monster, he murmured, lighting a cigarette. So I gave them one. He wasn't laughing anymore. Not really. The world had caught his message, twisted it, weaponized it. The poor burned police cars. The rich built higher walls. The media turned his truth into merchandise. Joker cards sold in street markets. T-shirts printed with his face. His pain had become a brand. In the distance, sirens wailed like broken laughter. Arthur took a deep breath and said to himself, they didn't understand the joke. Then a soft voice replied behind him, maybe they did. Maybe that's why it scares them. Arthur turned slowly. A woman stood there, dark coat, calm eyes, Detective Marin Cole. She'd been chasing the Joker case for weeks. Unlike the others, she didn't treat him like a monster. She spoke like someone who'd already met her demons. You think you exposed the system, she said, stepping closer, but all you did was prove how easy it is to control people with fear. Arthur smiled faintly. Fear, truth, laughter, same coin, different sides. Marin crossed her arms. You started a war, Arthur. People are dying in your name. He exhaled smoke into the cold air. People have always died in someone's name. At least this time they're awake while it happens. She studied him. The trembling hands, the quiet madness, the brilliance behind the cracks. "You don't want to destroy the city," she said softly. "You want to teach it." Arthur's eyes glimmered. "No, detective. I just want to make it honest." She stepped closer, lowering her tone. "Then end it. Whatever game this is, stop it before there's nothing left to laugh at." Arthur looked out at the skyline. "End it?" He paused. "You can't end a joke once it starts. It lives as long as people need it." He handed her a small flash drive. "Everything I've found. The real names, the real devils. If you're brave enough to use it, maybe they'll remember your name instead of mine." She hesitated, taking it. "What are you planning, Arthur?" He smiled, that calm, dangerous smile that said he'd already decided. The final punchline. That night, every screen in the city flickered. Televisions, billboards, even police monitors, all hijacked at once. The same phrase appeared in red letters: "Welcome to the final laugh." Then Joker's voice filled the air. "Ladies and gentlemen, you've seen your heroes, your judges, your cops. You've seen what happens when lies wear uniforms. Tonight, I'm giving you something real. A city without masks. Live feeds switched to hidden cameras. Politicians caught taking bribes. Officers torturing suspects. Media anchors manipulating headlines. It was raw, unfiltered, undeniable. The entire city froze. Truth had never been so loud. But in the chaos, Detective Marin's phone buzzed. A single message from an unknown number. "You wanted me to stop it. This is me stopping it." Her eyes widened. "No. Arthur, what did you do?" She rushed to track the signal. It led to the abandoned theater, the same place where it had all begun. Inside, the projector was running again. On the stage, Arthur sat under the flickering light, the same red smile drawn across his lips. Not paint this time. Blood. He looked up as Marin entered. "You wanted honesty," he whispered, "so I gave them mine." Marin's voice cracked. "You didn't have to die for it." Arthur chuckled weakly. "Didn't I? You see, detective, people only listen to martyrs, not madmen." He reached into his pocket and handed her a final card. It wasn't a joker. It was blank. "What does this mean?" she asked. Arthur's breathing slowed. "It means the next move is yours." Then the stage lights dimmed. Arthur's head fell forward, his final smile frozen, not in madness, but in peace. The screens across the city went black. And then one last line appeared. "The world doesn't need another hero. It just needs to remember who the villains are." Weeks later, Detective Marin uploaded the files Arthur gave her. The corrupt fell. The city burned. But among the flames, a quiet truth spread. Sometimes it takes a monster to reveal what monsters look like. And on the anniversary of his death, citizens found a single playing card placed on the courthouse steps. Not a joker. A blank one. No words, no laughter, just silence. Because the joke was over. Or maybe it had just begun. They called him a monster. But maybe he was the only one brave enough to face the real monsters. Because in a world built on lies, truth always laughs last. If this story gave you chills, make sure to subscribe, because more dark, emotional tales like this are coming soon. And remember, in every joke, there's a truth people are too afraid to say.